No, you say it again. Do it again. You got it.
No, I didn't.
You're natural.
I don't have it. Because I don't know what to say other than why hello there.
You got it. You say Shams Nelson here.
I said well hello. Well hello. Do I need to take this?
Well, we should be able to put it so that we can both be picked up.
Why hello? Why hello there? Blah 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 and something something something. Shams Nelson here from Pen and Blade.
Pen and Blade. Go on. And today we're going to be talking
we're going to be talking about all the things that you find in Dungeons and Dragons.
That's a really good topic of conversation. Let me make sure we're recording.
Okay.
This is gold. This is gold. All right. So, do you know the difference between races and classes in Dungeons and Dragons?
In Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, this is Sophia from Enneagram Relationships, Enneagram_relationships on Instagram.
On Instagram.
So this is very related to this topic of conversation.
Very, very, very related.
If you want to stalk my girlfriend, it's as easy as downloading the Instagram app, creating an account, typing in Enneagram_relationships, and you're there. All right. So, the difference between races and classes. So, if you had to guess, what would be your first guess?
Well, the difference between races and classes. I guess the races would be more of like biological differences between different creatures, and classes would be more like, I guess, like, I don't know, circumstantial? I mean, all I can base it on is like...
What do you mean by circumstantial?
Well, all I can base it on is the difference between races and classes with people. You know, and different races are like, biologically you have different races, and then circumstantially you have different classes as in different socioeconomic situations and stuff like that. So that's kind of all I have to base it on.
Is that how it is? Yeah, maybe that's it. There's not really a hierarchy between the classes. Maybe there is, though. I don't know. So races, starting there, that's easier, is the different biological differences, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's like elves, dwarves, humans, obviously. What else? If like a fairy would be a race, or even a giant.
So those are biological differences, like differences in sort of like physiological differences?
Yeah. And it's interesting because they call them races. Like in human, we're all humans, but we have different races. They should really be different. They should be species.
Different species, because that's kind of what I'm thinking about.
Really
because the differences
species.
Are pretty much bigger than just like...
But they call them races. And so what would you think of if you had to think of a couple more races in the fantasy world aside from what I mentioned? Does anything come to mind?
Well, you talk about orcs a lot.
Orcs? I talk about orcs a lot, clearly.
A lot.
Okay.
And, I mean, I know wizards.
Just like at breakfast. Like,
yeah.
Hey, do you...
As we're drifting off to sleep at night, rambling on about orcs.
I can't even think of anything I would say about orcs, but I'm sure I'll say it.
There's a reason I know the word.
Do you think orcs live in hovels or castles?
That's the kind of thing I hear.
Okay. So orcs, yeah, that's a good one.
Wizards.
Okay. Okay, well, let's. So wizards are usually classes, so that gives you a sense of maybe partly getting into the differences.
Absolutely no idea.
Okay, all right, well, let's keep going on what other races you might come up with. I'm curious what comes to mind.
I actually don't know the names of the other, like, creatures and things. I don't actually know.
Is there any other humanoid type creatures that...
A humanoid type creature?
Yeah.
What, like an
elf? That's from a fantasy. Yeah, I said elves, though.
Oh. What about a troll?
Yeah, that's a good one. Now, there's a little bit we're getting into gray area between classes or races and monsters. So monsters are a whole other category I didn't think of at first. So can you think of some monsters from the fantasy world? What comes to mind?
So a troll is a monster or a race?
It's like in treading the line, but probably more of a monster.
Okay. A monster. No.
No, like a dragon.
Oh, okay. Monster.
Yeah.
Okay, a dragon and.
Like a zombie. Skeleton. Skeleton warrior.
So, wait, so a zombie is a monster, not. Because isn't it like a humanoid? Isn't a
Oh.
zombie kind of.
Wow, that is confusing. I think if you can play as the character, then it's considered a race. If you
Okay.
can't play as that character, then it's a monster. It's something you're gonna fight.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, that's not something I know
Yeah,
about.
and it's really like not like you could play as anything, I guess. So they added other races in the new editions like Dragonborn, which are like half dragon humans, like they have scales and they can
That's
breathe
really cool.
fire. It's pretty cool. Tieflings are half infernal, which are like either devils or demon blood in them. So it's
Wow,
kind of
that's
they have
really
horns.
Wow.
And what other races is there? God bless you. Okay, so yeah, so you kind of get it. All right, so what are classes then? You already named one class, the wizard.
The wizard?
Yeah, what would you think might be another class?
Honestly, I have no idea what that means
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
Like, I have no idea.
Okay. So a class, I think the best way to think about it would be like a job in the fantasy world.
Okay.
But like even if you don't have a job, it's like an archetype. We were talking about archetypes. I think
Mm.
classes would be archetypes.
Oh,
So like a wizard is like a archetype, right?
Okay.
Like what else might come to mind
Um.
in the fantasy world? I'll give you an easy one, the warrior, right?
Fair. Okay. Fair enough.
The
The
warrior.
warrior. Okay.
They call them fighters in Dungeons and Dragons. And then we were talking about one earlier. Barbarians.
Oh yes.
So
you were talking
barbarians
about
and fighters are
barbarians.
different. Can you see how there'd be different archetypes?
Yeah. Like they almost have a different role.
Yeah, okay. A different role, different flavor to them. Their motivations might be different.
Yeah.
Their like mannerisms or background,
What
how
about
they
like?
became the way they became would be different.
What about that kind of that one that's like that character that's just an outsider? They're just always doing their own thing, like off in the forest, living alone, that kind of thing, like in a cave or whatever.
So that'd probably be like a ranger.
Would that be a
Yeah. Or if they're living more in the
Okay.
cities and stuff, the outsider type could be the rogue.
the rogue?
Like a thief or like a fast talker or like
Okay,
a
okay, that makes
stealthy
sense.
treasure hunter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more acrobatic or more,
Okay.
nimble, dexterous. And you have wizards and sorcerers. Any idea the difference between those? What would you think if you had to guess? Wizard, sorcerer, and warlock. They added warlock.
I don't know.
Okay, so wizards and sorcerers. Wizards are like the bookworms.
Uh-huh.
They have a spell book.
Oh, right,
And
okay.
they have
and
to,
a
like,
wand.
Probably, or a staff or something. Yeah. I don't
Something
know.
and a hat that flops at the tip.
Anyone can use a wand. Can anyone use? I don't know, but that's true. They didn't lean super hard into the hats and the wands and things. Definitely the beard. You have to have a beard, even
Sure.
if you're a female wizard.
Everyone knows that,
Everyone
yeah.
knows that. And then they have to read out of their spell book to do their spells.
Okay. And they
But
have
a
a
sorcerer-
long cloak,
Yes, probably.
probably.
Sorcerer has like dragon blood. Or
Oh, like it's like within them, like they
within
just go like this and
them.
then it's a ball of magic
Yes,
just happens. Okay,
yes.
cool.
So they don't like study it; they kind of like channel
Okay.
it from their inner being,
Hmm.
right? And then we've got the warlock has like a patron. I think they call it a patroner, but basically they have like either like an extraterrestrial being or like like some other planar being, whether that's like a celestial or like evil infernal creature, but like someone who like grants them power or like they have like a pact with.
Okay.
And so they like made a deal with the devil sort of guys, and so they have like usually more dark powers, but it doesn't have to be that way. But that's why, warlock, doesn't that sound a little
Sounds a bit
dark
maybe,
to you,
yeah.
right? A little heavier.
Mhm.
And then wizard and sorcerer is more like, doesn't imply that much. Okay, cool. And then there's like bards do magic through music.
Uh-huh.
And
So
the
it's basically
creatures all
what
charmed.
the rat guy, or what he was.
The Pied Piper.
The Pied Piper. That's
He
what
was
he
a bard.
was.
You're right. That's so weird. I never thought about it that way. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a good example.
Now we know.
and barbarians and stuff. So okay, so those are the classes.
Those are
There's
the
a few
classes,
more,
okay.
but that's you kind of get the idea.
Uh-huh.
So we have races. All right, so here's
Okay.
we're gonna do the final quiz to wrap
Oh,
this
no,
wrap
okay.
this
Okay.
segment up.
Okay.
Okay, so give me the definition of a race, or what you think, what your understanding now.
It's sort of the kind of humanoid. It's like a
Yeah,
Help,
you got
I did
it. You got it's like one of
exactly
these.
this.
It's exactly this. Okay, so is that your final answer? All right. So we've determined that you've learned nothing so far. So, like 0 out of 1. So you could still get 66% on this quiz if you answer the rest of the questions right, which is, I think it's a marginally passing grade. So let's see
Okay.
what you can do. Classes. What's a class?
Classes
Yeah.
have more to do with roles.
Mm-hmm.
Different
You're right.
roles.
You're right. She's
right.
right.
I'm right. Okay.
Mhm.
Next.
I think of bing bing. All right,
ding,
so
ding.
50% so far.
Okay.
And a monster. What's a monster?
So a monster is a character that you can't play.
Okay.
So if you can't play as the character, it's a monster.
I guess so, because even good things can be monsters. Like if they're actually helpful or nice, they're considered monsters in a technical term. So that's 100%. Ding 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 ding. And I could give you 50% because you said humanoid for the.
I
for
remember
the
that word.
races. But it's the thing you said, like the biological.
The biological.
difference.
I was gonna say that, but I remembered the humanoid thing, so I
Yeah,
just thought that was.
I know you were on the spot. There was a lot of pressure. It was like a pop quiz.
I did not expect that.
You did not expect that. Okay, do you want to do the outro since you did the intro so well? Do you know what
yes. Stay fantastic. No, how does it? This is that.
You're close. You're close. There's 3 parts. Here's another quiz.
God bless and stay fantastic.
Okay, you just forgot the.
Everyone.
Yeah, But everyone's over there.
God bless and stay fantastic, everyone.
just
I missed
forgot-
something.
you
I know
forgot
there's
there's
one
3.
thing. It's not right.
It's
It's not.
with a P.
Peace, God bless, and stay fantastic, everyone.
You heard it.